So you're going to need these Swarovski crystals, the heart pendants. I'm using one in moss green and crystal luminous green. Of course, these shades are now discontinued, so you may use any substitute. I would suggest emerald green for both halves as a substitute. You can use emerald and peridot if you want to keep this color scheme. So I'm going to measure out 2 lengths of wire that measure out to about 22 centimeters each. Straighten these wires, and you're going to begin making sure that they lay next to each other. Start about halfway through. Use your ruler to measure the way that is if you need to, and we're going to make a weave. We're going to start weaving right there, about a centimeter on either side, half an inch on either side of, oh no, a quarter of an inch on either side of the weave. .4mm dead soft, and a quarter an inch away from the middle, you're going to begin wrapping around the stone. I'm going to use a very simple weave. I'm going to wrap around twice around the bottom wire and twice around the top wire, and just do that until you're about half an inch across. For those of you on the metric system, about 1 centimeter or just a little over 1 centimeter across, and start 0.5 centimeters away from the middle on either side, or a little bit more in this case. So now that we're done with our weave, we're going to start forming the heart shape. As you can see, we're going to have to make a sharp bend and bend it around the two curves of the heart. So we're going to take our chain nose pliers, starting about halfway through the weave we just made. Just place it in and use your fingers to smooth it down until it fits the pendant. So while you are fitting the pendants, make sure to also think about how it's going to lay across. The 4 wires are going to lay across each side of the stone and act as a kind of cage, with the bottom acting as a stopper to keep it from moving around. So just bend it with that in mind. Use your fingers to smooth it across the stone to make the shape look nice and as soft as you want it to be. You could use your pliers if you want more sharper edges, but I want soft bends, and so I'm going to use my fingers. Be careful to not grip the wire too hard while you're running your fingers through it. You could give yourself some burns. Now that it's been gripped, I'm going to take my weaving wire and just do a simple coil around the top as close to the stone as I can. Now I'm going to make these wires tails, these 4 tails fan out. I'm going to begin placing my second stone. You have to work a bit on this one. It won't sit as easily as the first one. In fact, you'll see that we won't be able to get the same smooth shape as the first. I'm going to just run it rather close to the points in the stone, because that's where it won't move the most. You're going to have to adjust this a lot depending on which pendant or stone you decide to use. But on this one, since it's a double pointed pendant, I will just pinch it closer, and at the end I'll just weave it through to join them. So here I am weaving the 2 wires together to try to get them to kind of hold the stone in place. This will help me with the weave later on. And just push it down as you need and make a space for the wire to sit in. As you can see, I've joined the pendant in the middle. You can still see those coils that I used to kind of cage it in before. I just brought the 4 wires together. I took the 2 in the front and began the same weave that I made earlier on to enclose the first stone. And we're going to use this to now form a pendant. I'm just cutting off all the excess wires and smoothing them down, after which I will take the wire at the top and I will bend the pendant to form, I will bend the weave that I made to form a pendant, and I'll use the 2 around it and kind of coil them around the bottom, and that's how it will go. So after using my pliers to pinch down the wires to stop any movement that I might have created by the bending, I'm going to take my round nose pliers and coil and use to make a loop around the ends, using the ends of the bail. This is just for aesthetic purposes. You do not have to do this. You could just coil these ends around the bail, but I prefer this. Here I'm cutting it to size so it can be as symmetrical as possible. So at first I had planned to coil them around the bails, but since I decided to make those 2 loops, I decided to change it to a heart. So you can watch my rose ring tutorial to learn how to make a rose. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant a rose. I've decided to turn it into a rose. And yeah, so that's it. Just finish off by weaving the 2 tails underneath the rose and you're done. Thank you for watching. If you like this tutorial, please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.